Yo, what's going on, everyone, and welcome. So, this 28 years later trailer. As of making this video, this trailer has had 10 million views. The reaction, the acclaim for this trailer has been widespread. I have seen this trailer probably now maybe 10 plus times. I've watched reactions to this trailer. And it just, for me, for my money, it's going to be it's going to be an incredibly successful film, because this trailer does something which a lot of trailers don't do, which is the lost art of getting you excited, I think, or anticipating, or setting your standards extremely high. And there's not one part of this trailer there you're thinking, oh, I don't like, look at that. Every part of this trailer is so intriguing. The music, the song in the background, or the poem that's being read in the background. You've clearly seen this trailer. The poem in the background, the way it's framed, the scenes that's chosen to to stitch this all together, truly makes this a unique and incredibly well thought out piece of art. Now, why am I going into this sort of big description about a trailer and not playing it and reacting to it? Well, we are going to watch it, but the thing that I wanted to talk about was that this is essentially a zombie film. Or, I mean, yeah, they're zombies. Okay, they are zombies. We'll call them. We're going to call, for the basis, this we'll call them zombies, because there's another way to describing the dead rising again is other than zombies, right? The last zombie film, for my mind, that I remember being excited for, and a lot of people were excited for, was Welcome to Raccoon City, the Resident Evil movie that came out a few years back. Now, we're going to watch that trailer first, and we're going to pretend like, these two films are coming out maybe a year apart, closest together, and we're going to, obviously, we're going to talk about the big differences between how to edit and promote a zombie film or create one versus, how not to. So, we'll start with the Welcome to Raccoon City. Now, if you're not familiar with Resident Evil, it's a game franchise. It had a lot of film adaptations made a few years ago. Mila Jovovich, Paul W. Sanderson directing, and they were very, very, financially successful, I'd say, and they made quite a few of them, and they're done very well. And sales after different. These films are, and I like them films. This film promised to take us back to everything that Resident Evil was, which was, they're gonna be faithful to the games. They're gonna use locations from the games, characters, and put them all together. People, they were hype. The fans were excited, and then we got this trailer, and the fans weren't so excited. There were particular reasons for that, but we'll watch this trailer just to refresh our memories, and we'll explain why they weren't so. Well, I'll explain why I wasn't so excited. Let's begin.
Come on. Every story has a beginning. Discover the origin of evil.
Why are you back here, Claire? Your conspiracies weren't true when we were kids. They're not true now.
We need to expose Umbrella. Watch this.
I'm afraid, Claire. I'm afraid of what they're gonna do to this town. You see, Umbrella, they had an incident. I'm talking Chernobyl, if you know what I mean. People are getting sick. You gotta help us, Claire. Let the world know what's really going on.
We have to contain this.
Shall we go?
What were Umbrella doing here?
This is where they're experimenting on him.
What the?
draw down.
So essentially, that was the trailer, right? Now, I'm going to be like, if you haven't seen that film, then you've basically just watched it, because in the entirety of that trailer, right, you saw everything. Every scene in that trailer was the action scenes. Every zombie interaction was in that trailer. Every single one of them. They were all there. Every moment in that trailer that had any sort of significance to the film was in that trailer. Everything that would make you think, what's the big bad? Who's the end game? Was in that trailer. Every scene that ever made you think, I want to watch this film because I want to see what happens next, was in that trailer. You could stitch that together and add the dialogue in yourself, and you've got the film there in that trailer alone. There was nothing else to add to it, and that is the biggest problem with this film, was that there was nothing to show. There was nothing left to watch. We've watched it in a trailer. We've seen it. They did it wrong. The trailer was wrong on so many levels, and when the film came out, we'd already basically watched it. Now, I'll give credit where credit's due, that it did so well in presenting it, the games faithfully. It did obviously present the town. It presented the RPD, the Raccoon Police Department. It presented the mansion, but it didn't do well in piecing all of the puzzle together, and it changed natures of characters very heavily. That did, it brought their sort of like their later arcs forward, like into the past. A good example would be Leon, who's the main character in Resident Evil. Later on, he's a bit tortured. He's a tortured soul. He enjoys a drink. And this is established in the animated films. But in this, he's had a few drinks. He gets up late for work. He's a bit of a lazy ass. And it presents them like it tries to give them backstories that don't exist. It's creating backstories for characters that just weren't presented in the games. Leon's clean cut. He's on time. He's ready to go to work. RE2 Remake established this. This game was made after RE2 Remake had come out. He's already established as a clean cut cop. He's ready to work. Claire's established as some tortured soul from, but she was never established. She was a young, university student come to find her brother because she hadn't heard from him in a long time. He disappeared because of the Umbrella Corporation hunting STARS members. They knew what happened in the mansion. But all of this has been jumbled up into create this, and the trailer gives it all away. The trailer gives everything away, all given away massively. So yeah, that's the biggest issue. That was the biggest issue with it. It just was all given away, massively given away, and it just didn't sit right with the fans, and it didn't sit right with a lot of us watching it. So now we move on to 28 years later, another zombie film with another trailer that's coming out, and we're going to look at this trailer and see what this does. Again, this is like a reaction to it, but I've already seen it, but we're going to analyze this compared to the Resident Evil trailer. And just so you know, I'm a massive Resident Evil fan, but the trailer just didn't do it. It didn't. When you think of two zombie films, so in the last couple of years, the one that stands out most is Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City, and then now this. So let's watch this.
Auntie, what's going on? Jimmy, sit still, keep quiet, and do not move from this spot.
Seven, 6, 11, 5, 9 and 20 miles today, 4, 11, 17, 32 the day before. Boot, 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 moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war. Don't look at what's in front of you. Boot, 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 moving up and down again. Men go mad with watching them. There's no discharge in the war. I will get atop of you. Boom, 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 moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the wall. Right. The things are something different. Oh, my God, keep me from going lunatic. Boom, moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the wall. 7, 6, 11, 5, 4, 17.
So, shivers. You get fucking shivers watching that, and it's just the tone, the way it's edited. The only voice you hear is a mother telling children to stay in the room and not move, and then nothing but screams. Every scene that has audio is screams, or a little bit of gunfire in it. It's framed so perfectly. It's cut and edited beautifully. It gives nothing away. You can theorize, you can analyze, you can break it down, you can create your own judgments, you can make up your own theories about how this is going to go. There's a cult, clearly. There's a village that's separated by a body of water with a small lane. Now, you can see all this. I've watched it numerous times. I've caught things. There's writing on the wall that you want to pause and read. There's the way they're dressed. They've got crosses up made with planks of wood. They've got training dummies where they're obviously shooting bows and arrows. They're hunting for food. They go out and hunt. They've learned to live in a society, but the threat is still there of these of the Walking Dead, the dead. And it's 28 years later. They've lived like this. Went from days to weeks to years. There was never a month's film. But yeah. And then there's that exciting part. If you've never seen the original, it had Cillian Murphy in it. Or Cillian Murphy, sorry. Apologies if I'm pronouncing it wrong. But he was in the original. And look at his career, how his career's flourished, and how such an incredible actor, and what he's done, and the works he's done. And he knows, like he said in interviews, he said he loves this franchise. I think he was asked to do something with this. They know that he's in it. And they're all theorising that he's the zombie that rises up in the trailer, but you don't. Again, do you see what I'm saying? I'm in that space of time. I've literally in that space of time. I've forgotten that we're talking about comparisons of trailer. I'm theorising now on this trailer. I didn't do that with the Resident Evil Raccoon City trailer. I have a video on my channel talking about it. I was very optimistic, but when you get trailers like this, and then you watch trailers that we just did with that. There is no comparison. There is a massive lesson to be learned here, and it is that same company, Sony Pictures, maybe some other companies involved, but this is a trailer. This is what you show to film students. This is the sort of trailer you show to film students. And unfortunately, in the Welcome to Raccoon City's case, you have a zombie film I'm comparing it to. That's the trailer you showed when, how can you make it better, unfortunately. And I just think that there obviously there are things that I think looking back it's easy to do hindsight, definitely, but we're not sitting here talking about how we're looking forward to the next Resident Evil film. We're sitting here talking about how we're looking forward to the next 28 years later and the films beyond it, if they get this right. But the trailer's already hit every chord correctly, so yeah, I honestly looking forward to this. Yeah, that's it really. I just think that it's a good comparison. I think it's they're both zombie films. Doesn't matter if they're different kind of universes. They're both made up anyway, so they are well by rights to be compared to. So yeah, that's it. That's my take on it. Thanks.